Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. You know, in my efforts to watch what's going on, absorb from it what I might, that I could share with you, to point out to you in some forms and some ways perhaps that you could see that the system in which we're living is not that wonderful, that in fact it is the foundational thing of evil, and that we don't have to accept this if we were bold enough, faithful enough, curious enough, wise enough to go back and redo this thing. And I'd like to introduce you to a God that is a loving God that takes care of all of the problems that we have. And I was thinking that this could be a little nugget. I was looking out the window and I saw my neighbor. My neighbor has a pretty nice house. In other words, he looks like somebody who got some money. You come over here where I live, and I look like a person who's living who has no money. These are the differences that exist. And you might ask yourself, what is it? I mean, I'm not pissed off with my neighbor. I'm glad for my neighbor. I just wish I was able to do as well myself. But the question becomes, what is it that each and every last one of us can do within this American social and economic system? What is it that we can do that the results would yield all of us being satisfied with our outcome, all of us satisfied with our lives? You know, like some got, some don't. The question is, how do we remove the don't? What can we do in this system to remove the don't? Well, the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing in this system that we can do to remove the don't. In fact, there's nothing you can do that any system that's designed by humankind that will remove the don't. It is the don'ts that is maintained that allows all of the ugliness, the baggages, the pain, the suffering, the crime, the violence. All of that is based upon the fact that whoever is running the show would rather run the show and be boss and play God than all of the suffering and pain. In fact, the suffering and pain gives them a prestigious feeling about themselves that they are all of this. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a true fact. Now we talk about the judges, and everybody's complaining about the judges. What are the judges going to represent? Well, I heard some of the judges say, we're going to represent the Constitution. We're going to do what the Constitution calls us to do. Now they say that whether and they are all bought and paid for, whether they know it or not. They are planned to be there. It doesn't matter what party puts them there. It's all the same old game that's being played. Somebody trying to get power, maintain power, or maintain balance in power. But when they support the Constitution is not about what's right or what's wrong. The Constitution is about what they wanted. And so when you get these judges, that's what they're going to represent. What was wanted. What was the intent? Not what. See, this is a special thing. This comes from a power that you can't see. This is a new way of thinking. It doesn't come from the white people. And now there are a lot of white people who disagree with the pain and suffering that others have to go through. And very few of them will even give their lives standing up with black people or anybody else that will stand up for righteousness, stand up for justice. I mean, you know, they realize that peaceful protest accomplishes nothing but tells the power that be that you are a coward, that you don't know the truth. If you do whatever you want to do, that tells you know the truth and you're not afraid. You're going to stand up against any evil. And listen to them when they want to talk about proposing. The first thing they start talking about, well, don't defund the police. Invest in the police. Give them some authority so when these things begin to happen, they got that's what they start talking about. Some more head beating. How many of them say, let's make sure that we want to deal with this problem? Let's make sure that everybody got a job. Let's make sure they got a job of their own choosing. And let's make sure that as they engage in this process, that they will receive back out of it enough to keep them at ease with themselves. Let's make sure that they'll never have any problems with the lack of food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care. Let's make sure that they will have their dreams, their joy, their peace, and their prosperity alive. Let's do these kinds of things. And let's see if that will quell the frustrations that we have. Let's check that out. How many people say that? Nobody. Does the church say that? No. What the church say? Come to church, pay your tithes, offering, and God gonna bless you. Well, you've been doing that your whole lifetime, and this is your result. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Use that as you may. It's on you. It's just a nugget. Eddie Marcus say bye-bye.